On June 25, 2009, paramedics rushed to a mansion in the Holmby Hills neighborhood of Los Angeles. They'd received a 911 call that someone wasn't breathing. When they arrived, they found Michael Jackson, the king of pop, one of the most famous people who'd ever lived, lying unconscious in his bedroom. His personal physician, Dr. Conrad Murray, was attempting CPR. The paramedics tried everything. They rushed him to UCLA Medical Center. Doctors worked frantically for over an hour. But Michael Jackson was dead. At 50 years old, the man who'd sold over 400 million records, who'd revolutionized music and dance, who'd been famous since he was a child, was gone. The cause? An overdose of propofol, a powerful anesthetic used in surgery. Dr. Murray had been giving Michael propofol to help him sleep. That night, the dose was lethal. But Michael's death wasn't just about propofol. It was the end result of a life filled with trauma, abuse, impossible pressure, and pain that never healed. Michael Jackson's story began with a father who beat him, mocked him, and stole his childhood. It continued with fame so intense that he became one of the most recognizable faces on earth. And it ended with a man who was so damaged, so unable to find peace, that he needed surgical anesthesia just to sleep. "I had no childhood," Michael once said in a rare moment of vulnerability. "I had no adolescence. I went from baby to entertainer, and I never got to be a kid." His father, Joe Jackson, would beat his sons with belts, cords, and fists if they made mistakes during rehearsals. He'd mock Michael's appearance, calling him names, making him feel worthless. The abuse was constant, brutal, and left scars that never healed. He would drop us off, and we'd see all the other kids playing, Michael remembered. We'd press our noses against the window, just watching them. That's what I remember most, watching other kids be kids while we worked. So how does an abused child become the biggest star in the world? How does someone who never had a childhood try to create one for himself as an adult? And what happens when the whole world is watching your every move? This is the story of Michael Jackson, the abused child, the king of pop, the man who never escaped. If you're enjoying this story of resilience and transformation, don't forget to subscribe to Rise Stories. We bring you the real, untold journeys of the world's most iconic figures, the struggles, the failures, and the comebacks that shaped them. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an inspiring story. Now, let's continue with Michael Jackson's incredible journey. Michael Joseph Jackson was born on August 29, 1958, in Gary, Indiana. He was the 8th of 10 children in the Jackson family. His father, Joe Jackson, was a steel mill worker who had once played guitar in a small R&B band. Joe was strict, controlling, and violent. He ruled the household with fear. Joe recognized that his children had musical talent, and he saw that talent as his ticket out of poverty. So he formed a group with his 5 oldest sons, Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, and Michael. The Jackson 5 rehearsed constantly, hours every day after school, all weekend. Joe would stand over them with a belt in his hand, ready to strike if anyone made a mistake. "If you messed up, you got hit," Michael later revealed. Sometimes with a belt, sometimes with a cord, sometimes with whatever was close. But the physical abuse was only part of it. Joe would mock Michael constantly, particularly about his appearance. Michael had acne as a child. Joe would call him names, tell him he was ugly, make him feel worthless. "He'd tell me I had a fat nose," Michael said. "Every time I saw him, he'd mention it. I became so self-conscious." Young Michael developed severe insecurity about his appearance that would haunt him his entire life. But Michael also had something extraordinary: talent. At just 5 years old, he could sing and dance better than performers twice his age. His voice had soul and emotion that seemed impossible from someone so young. In 1968, when Michael was 10, the Jackson 5 signed with Motown Records. Their first 4 singles all hit #1. Michael was the star, the adorable child with the incredible voice who commanded the stage. The Jackson 5 became one of the biggest acts in music. They toured constantly, appeared on television, sold millions of records. But Michael had no childhood, no school friends, no playing outside, no normal experiences, just work, rehearsals, performances, and his father's abuse. Other kids had tree houses and sleepovers, Michael remembered. "I had recording studios and hotel rooms." In 1971, Michael launched a solo career while still part of the Jackson 5. As a teenager, his voice changed and he struggled with his identity. The cute little kid was becoming an awkward adolescent. His insecurity about his appearance intensified. He started having plastic surgery, first on his nose, then multiple additional procedures over the years. In 1979, at age 21, Michael released Off the Wall and worked with legendary producer Quincy Jones. The album was a massive success, 10 million copies sold, but it was Thriller, released in 1982, that made Michael the biggest star on the planet. Thriller became the best-selling album of all time, over 66 million copies worldwide. The music videos for Thriller, Beat It, and Billie Jean revolutionized MTV and music videos as an art form. Michael's dancing was incredible. The moonwalk, the robot, the spins. His stage presence was magnetic. His voice was powerful and emotive. He became more famous than Elvis, more famous than the Beatles. Michael Jackson was the most recognizable person on earth. But fame at that level is suffocating. Michael couldn't go anywhere without being mobbed. He couldn't have normal relationships. He lived in a bubble, surrounded by employees and handlers. And the abuse from his childhood? It had never been addressed, never been healed. Michael carried it with him every day. In 1988, Michael bought a 2,700-acre property in California and transformed it into Neverland Ranch, named after the fictional place in Peter Pan where children never grow up. Michael built an amusement park with rides, a zoo with exotic animals, a movie theater, an arcade, everything a child could dream of. "I'm just trying to have the childhood I never had," Michael explained to people who thought Neverland was strange. But there was something else happening at Neverland that would eventually destroy Michael's reputation. He invited children to visit. Children from hospitals, children from disadvantaged backgrounds, children he'd met through various charities. They'd come to Neverland, play on the rides, meet the animals, stay overnight. Michael saw himself as giving these children magical experiences, but to many observers, a grown man inviting children to his home raised serious concerns. In 1993, those concerns exploded into a public scandal. In 1993, 13-year-old Jordan Chandler accused Michael of sexual abuse. The accusation came after the boy's father, Evan Chandler, had contacted Michael demanding money. The case never went to trial. Michael settled civilly for an estimated $23 million. He maintained his innocence but wanted to end the media circus. The settlement haunted Michael. Many people assumed it meant he was guilty. Why pay if you're innocent? But Michael's lawyers had advised that a trial would be devastating, regardless of the outcome. The 1993 accusation damaged Michael's reputation irreparably. Though he was never criminally charged, public opinion had shifted. Then, in 2003, a documentary aired where Michael casually discussed having children sleep in his bed. Public outrage followed. Another accusation came from a 13-year-old boy. This time, Michael was arrested and charged with multiple counts of child molestation. The trial began in 2005. For months, the trial dominated headlines. Michael appeared at court looking gaunt and fragile. The prosecution presented their case. The defense argued that the accusers' families had targeted Michael for money. On June 13, 2005, the jury returned their verdict, not guilty on all counts. Michael had been acquitted, but his reputation was destroyed. His career was effectively over, and the stress had taken a severe toll on his physical and mental health. After the trial, Michael left the United States. He spent time in Bahrain, Ireland, and various other countries, living in borrowed mansions, accumulating debt, isolated from the world. His finances were in ruins. Neverland was facing foreclosure. He owed hundreds of millions of dollars to various creditors. His physical appearance had changed dramatically over the years. Multiple plastic surgeries had altered his face. He'd also been diagnosed with vitiligo, a skin condition that causes loss of pigmentation. Michael had used makeup and treatments to even out his skin tone, leading to accusations that he was trying to become white. "I have a skin disorder," Michael explained. "I'm not trying to be anything I'm not." By 2009, Michael was essentially broke, despite having made hundreds of millions during his career. His spending had been astronomical, his management questionable, and the legal issues had cost him enormously. EXILE, a concert promotion company, approached Michael with an offer. A series of 50 concerts at the O2 Arena in London called This Is It. The shows would pay Michael enough to solve his financial problems. Michael, at 50 years old, agreed, but privately he was terrified. He hadn't toured in years. His health was poor. The pressure was immense. To deal with the stress and pressure of preparing for the comeback concerts, Michael was having severe insomnia. He couldn't sleep. His anxiety was overwhelming. Michael hired Dr. Conrad Murray as his personal physician. Murray began giving Michael propofol, a surgical anesthetic, to help him sleep. Propofol is incredibly dangerous outside a medical setting. It's meant to be used in operating rooms with full monitoring equipment. Using it to sleep is essentially inducing a medically controlled coma every night. Murray was administering propofol to Michael in his bedroom without proper equipment, without proper training for using the drug in that setting. On June 24, 2009, Michael had a rehearsal. Those who saw him said he seemed energetic and excited. The rehearsal went well. That night, Michael returned home. He couldn't sleep. Murray gave him various sedatives. They didn't work. Finally, Murray gave Michael propofol. And then Murray made a fatal mistake. He left the room. When Murray returned, Michael wasn't breathing. Murray attempted CPR, but was ineffective. He delayed calling 911. By the time paramedics arrived, Michael had been in cardiac arrest for too long. Michael Jackson was pronounced dead at 2:26 p.m. on June 25, 2009. The world mourned. Millions of people gathered at Staples Center for a memorial service. Tributes poured in from around the globe. His music dominated charts again. Dr. Conrad Murray was tried and convicted of involuntary manslaughter. He served less than 2 years in prison. The autopsy revealed Michael was malnourished and had various health issues. The propofol, combined with other sedatives, had stopped his heart. In the years since his death, Michael's legacy has remained complicated. New accusations emerged in a 2019 documentary, though Michael's estate and family vigorously disputed them. Michael's music continues to be celebrated. His innovations in music videos and performance are undeniable, but the controversies continue to overshadow his artistic achievements. Michael Jackson's story teaches us painful truths. Childhood abuse leaves permanent scars. Joe Jackson's brutal treatment shaped everything about Michael's life. His insecurity, his attempts to reclaim childhood, his inability to have normal relationships. Fame at that level is toxic. Being the most famous person on earth isolated Michael completely. He couldn't have normal experiences or relationships. The pressure was suffocating. You can't reclaim a stolen childhood. Michael built Neverland and tried to live the childhood he'd never had. But you can't go backward. You can only heal forward. Wealth doesn't equal happiness. Michael made hundreds of millions, but died essentially broke and deeply unhappy. Professional help matters. Michael needed serious trauma therapy, not propofol. His problems were psychological, but he sought chemical solutions. Michael Jackson sold over 400 million records. He won 13 Grammys. His Thriller video revolutionized music. He broke racial barriers. He influenced generations of artists. But he also died at 50, never having healed from the abuse he suffered as a child, never having found peace, never having escaped the prison of fame. His 3 children, Prince, Paris, and Blanket, lost their father. The world lost an artist, and Michael finally found the peace that had eluded him in life. What can we learn? Abuse matters. Childhood matters. Mental health matters. And fame and wealth can't heal trauma. Only therapy and time can do that. If you experienced childhood abuse, seek help. If you're chasing fame to fill a void, understand it won't work. If you're in pain, address it professionally. Michael's story didn't have to end the way it did. Yours doesn't either. So what's your story?